Okay, so let's have a look at this offer from Caesars Sportsbook. It is a $500 risk-free bet offer. Just like a lot of other offers now in Ontario, you've probably seen a few of these other risk-free bet style offers. $500 is a nice, decent amount, so we're going to go ahead and deposit $500, stick a $500 bet down. If it loses, you get a free bet back in your account, and if it wins, you obviously don't get anything back in your account. So from this offer, we can lock in $250 of guaranteed profit. Here's the offer on Caesars Sportsbook. Register a new account using the promo code Caesar on bet. Okay, so CZRONBET. Deposit $500, and if you lose the first real money bet, you receive a $500 bonus bet, and you have to place that within 14 days. You also need to make sure that you place the qualifying wager within the first 30 days of registering, and you'll get the bonus bet in your account within 2 days of settlement of your qualifying wager. So that's all fairly standard. So let's go ahead and go through the steps. So just to go over that again, they're offering a risk-free bet up to $500. To take full advantage, you'll need a bankroll of around $17.50. That's kind of like the minimum you should really have for this offer. Okay, so let's say that you go ahead onto Caesars, you click the link through to Caesars Sportsbook, and you get signed up. Caesars actually seem to only have an app. They don't actually show their odds on the desktop site, so you can download their app there. And let's say that you deposit $500, that's all great. Register your deposit as always in the profit tracker, just like that, $500. Okay, so let's go ahead and say that we're placing our qualifying bet. So we're going to click through the Dutch Matcher. As always, there's just a note about the Caesars Sportsbook app. You have to download the app. So let's go ahead and click the Dutch Matcher, and it's going to put us into risk-free bet mode as always. And it's going to put Caesars as Sportsbook 1. I have Pinnacle set as my Sportsbook 2. You can use whatever you like. So right off the bat, we can see this crazy high risk-free bet rating. The reason is these odds are extremely high. This is decimal, and we're talking about a 36 decimal odds, which is a very large outsider here. So it's a bit of a crazy bet. So we're just going to put max odds to 6 here just to make things a bit more manageable. Okay, so here we go. We've got all these selections that we can place on Caesars and then hedge on Pinnacle. This is the best rated pair here. So let's go ahead and open the calculator. Set the bet amount to $500 as that is the amount that you're going to be placing your first bet. And of course, we're in risk-free bet rating here. So we've said that you need a bankroll of, $17.50. Strictly speaking, for this one, you'd need $2,000 because you got $500 depositing here and $1,500 over here. $2,067 to be precise. If that happens, you can always just reduce your odds further. You could just kind of go for one of these, which would be a lower hedge bet amount. So there you go, that's within your $17.50. Or if you like, you can just set up a Dutching notification here to alert you whenever something good comes up. So if I was doing this and I only had a bankroll of $17.50, well, I'd probably set the max odds to say 4 there, and I would say min rating, I want something over 45% with a max odds of 4, and I would save the filter there and then say save filter. All right, that's just if your bankroll is limited. So let's go ahead with this first one. We would go ahead $500 on Genk at 4.6, and then we would hedge it on whatever the hell that team is pronounced, or draw on Pinnacle. I'm not just actually going to show you, it's a good time to show an example of that bet. So I'm going to pull up the Genk game here. So here's the game. Let's put it into decimal odds. So that team or draw at 1.244. It's actually under the double chance market. You'll see this here. So that's basically you're betting that Genk will win the game on Caesars, and then you're betting that this team or draw. Okay, so the draw is covered by this bet here. If it's this team or draw, the Pinnacle bet will win. You can see that the odds have slightly updated since the Dutch Matcher refreshed there. That's fine. You can just update the odds 1.238. If that ever happens, just update the odds on the Dutch Matcher. If they've reduced dramatically, then you can of course just pick another selection, but for this one I'd probably just go ahead with it anyway. So you would go ahead onto Caesars, you put $500 on Genk at 4.6, and then you go on to Pinnacle, put 15.75.12 on Mitty land or draw at 1.238. And no matter what happens, you're going to profit around 224 here. Okay, so if the Caesars bet wins, then you'll be up $1,800 on Caesars. You'll be down $1,575 on Pinnacle, giving you a profit of 224 straight away. And if the bet loses on Caesars, then you're going to be down $500 on Caesars. You'll be up $374 on Pinnacle, right? So you'll be down $125 roughly. but then you've got this $500 free bet to come, which, as we know, we can convert into 70% of that free bet amount, $350, giving us again $224 as profit. Okay, so no matter which path you go down here, whether bet one wins or bet two wins, you will end up with the same amount, 224 regardless, assuming that you do cash out your free bet for 70%, which you can expect to do. All right, so let's say that we've placed that bet, we've logged it in the profit tracker. Of course, if bet one wins, we don't have to do anything now. We're finished the offer, we've made $224. But if bet two wins, then we have to cash out this free bet refund, okay? So we would go on to the next step, which is the free bet step. This cannot be broken down into smaller bets. You have to use it in full, and it has to be used within 14 days of it being added to your account. So let's go ahead onto the Dutch Matcher. As always, it's going to put us into free bet mode this time. And there's that Crazy Wolves one again. We can set the max odds to make this a bit more manageable to 6, just like before. You'll find that free bet ratings and risk-free bet ratings, you'll get similar matches across both of them. It's just the way the maths works out. This thing favors higher odds, right? So that's why, you know, risk-free bet and free bet ratings are essentially going to be, yeah, you can see they're very similar there. So let's say that we were doing a different game. So let's say that we're doing this one this time, and you can see you get 70% retention, which is great. So let's say that we're going $500 on this free bet. So you'd very simply go $500 on Rangers at 4.8 on Caesars, and then you go over to Pinnacle, and just like we did before, you go 15.49.76 on Ferencvaros or draw at 1.226. That's all there is to it. You place both those bets, and you'll have locked in $350 profit from the free bet, but of course you'll be down around $100 from that first bet, giving you a profit overall of $250. Okay, hope that all makes sense. Just a very quick recap. You go on risk-free bet, $500. You place the $500 on Genk in this example, 15.76 on Midtjylland draw. If the Caesars bet wins, you've made 232 automatically straight off the bat. Of course, these odds are slightly off. But if the Pinnacle bet wins and the Caesars bet loses, then you've got to cash out this free bet refund for about $350, all right, giving you 232 in this case profit, all right. So you'd make about $350 from the free bet, but you would be down around $100 from this first thing, right? So the maths works out that we deliberately do this so that no matter what happens, whether the bet one wins or the bet two wins, you're going to be up the same amount regardless. If you have any trouble with that, guys, as always, contact us, either live chat or Discord.